it's actually pretty simple to answer the question, why do good people die early? I was just thinking about that, and yes, I'm out. I like to do my thinkers while I'm walking around. Oh, the squirrel! Oh, the little squirrel! I'm sorry they're cutting the trees down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How cute. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole right now because I'm by a forest that is no longer foresting anymore. It's giving Cynthia from Rugrats. But anyway, I think there's two simple reasons to answer this. A, I think that God sometimes takes people early because he's like, let's get you out of hell. You've done so much good. Why should you have to stick around and suffer any longer in this hellscape? And the thing I want to say about death before I go any further is I think people look at death in a very selfish way, because it's like, you don't want someone to die because you want them to be alive because you don't want to lose them. But have you ever actually thought about the life that they're living? Especially if they're somebody you consider a good person. Which brings me to answer number 2. Because the world kills good people, you guys. The world exploits good people. This is hell. Look at all these folks living long. Yeah? The worst of the bunch of the world. And we have the people that were doing the opposite. Going through, like I said, the 3 stages of what the devil does: cancelled, crazy, or coffin. Right now we have the new Michael Jackson movie coming out, which is ticking me off, by the way. There's something, everywhere I go, there's something reminding me why I hate it here. Why have we got a movie about Michael? When Michael doesn't have to be dead, does he? A man of that many riches. And it haunts me. The other day I was watching his last performance 12 hours before he died, and he was looking incredible. He was actually looking better than he had at other stages of his career, if you ask me. But where is he now? In the grave. And what did people say about him in the news? Oh, he's having all these kids at his house. He's a creep. He's this. Right. He was protecting them. He was protecting the children. This is what we do to good people in this life. This is what we do to them. We exploit them, right? It's like with Britney Spears, same thing. And then once we can get what we want to get out of them, the world disposes of them, unless you obviously stay in line. And that's why I think, the devil even gets people to get others into drugs, like I was talking about Liam Payne in my previous video. Is it these trees that sound like that? I never realized those trees sound like that. I don't walk down this road, to be fair, very often these days. Sorry about the freaking hospital. Oh, never going in there ever again. Woo! It's windy. Anyway, we always kill the good people. And this is like what I'm saying. Someone will love a good person, but that good person is putting in so much work. And it's like for example, I'll use my grandma as an example, because obviously when she passed away, it was one of the worst things ever, because I was in my second year at uni, as I've told you guys before, and she was the main reason I was doing it, because seeing how hard she worked for the family and for her kids and everything that she did, I was like, as her eldest grandchild, the least I could do is get a degree, because that would mean the world to her, because she was a teacher, and both of them, actually, my grandparents were teachers, and on my mum's side, and so I knew that it would really mean a lot to her to see her grandchild graduate. And she used to have my mum and her sister's graduation pictures in her house in a row on the wall, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my face, my graduation photo on the wall. A lot of bad things happened, but we won't get into that. And her brother, my mum's brother, was also he got really successful in engineering and whatnot. So, and this woman did so much for everybody. She worked multiple jobs in Zimbabwe. so that she could pay for her children's education. She was still paying it off, my mum's degree, when my mum had already moved to America. Right? She would do her job. She was working at this one job with her best friend, or her close friend. This friend then betrayed her at work, so then she found out she lost her job through the mail. Yeah? Never said it, never, always treated everybody with respect, never got into no messy fights, never did no nothing. She just got on with it, cracked on, did what she needed to do. She was working with like the NSPCC behind the scenes, so we found out every time you'd go to her house, she'd have some new lodger, some person who's staying there that she's like looking after, whatever stage of life they're in. I didn't get to go to her funeral in Zimbabwe, but apparently there was a whole bunch of people showing up talking about how, you know, she had helped them and their family, or had babysat for the, like, she was like that. My grandma, she was like that, you know, and she was just always that kind of person. And even after her and my grandfather divorced years and years back, I don't know when, he did remarry, she never did, which I always thought was really sad, by the way, because I thought, you deserve to have a person, like, you should be happy. I'm sad she isn't. You know, I'm sad that she didn't do that, but she was so busy putting everybody first. That's what I'm trying to say. She's so busy putting everybody first, and she was always very reliable, you know. And even when she did die, I could feel this layer of like protective prayer that went, that used to exist, because she would always wake up at 5 a.m, read her Bible, do her prayers. She was an absolute queen. Why am I telling all of this? You know, when she passed away, obviously, I was absolutely shattered. But you know what? I was happy for her. I'm happy she hasn't been here to see what has happened since she actually passed away, to be honest. And that's how I'm looking at it. It's like, we love to have the good people around. And that's because you love what they give to you. Like, you love what they're offering the community. They're setting a standard you're not willing to live up to. That's why they're considered the good people. It reminds me of the scene in Attack on Titan when one of the commanders was at death's door, and they could either save the commander or save one of the other kids. Now, he's been doing this. He's damn near been doing this for 40 years. He was over it. He actually wanted, he was okay with dying because he felt like he'd done enough, and he felt like he could trust like the next generations after him to do the work, right? As he's dying, and they have a chance to save one of them, but it's going to turn them into a Titan, long story. Everyone's doing, and it's what people always do. Everyone's like, no, what are we going to do without you, Commander? What are we going to do without? Grow up, shut up, boss up, and stand up yourself. You know what I mean? Shut up and boss up and stand up yourself, my friends. What are we going to do without you? Exactly. You're sad because of what you're losing, because of what you were gaining. This is why I don't believe love is real in this world. Yeah. And so that's why, as much as it pained me, you know, with my grandma, for her sake, I was like, I'm glad she finally has a break, you know. I'm glad she can be safe, you know, with the Lord. She's done her part. Like, it's obviously horrible to me. This is also why I wouldn't ever bother even in any way to try and like pray for her spirit to come and visit me. Stay there in heaven. I will see you there one day. You know what I mean? You kick back, relax, and enjoy yourself. And I'll try to do my best to make sure that all your hard work wasn't in vain. You know what I mean? And become to be the type of person you were like, you know? And that's what we should be thinking. And that's why I believe that happens. Because even in the Bible, if you see that, who are the two people that didn't die? Elijah and Enoch, right? Enoch, for one, because God just took them. Once their work was done, God just took them. That's why I'm like, God, what more do tell me what I need to do to just get taken? And it actually bothers me. I think about it every day. I literally think about it. Like, God, tell me just the instructions of what I will do that will get me to the threshold of the option of just being immediately gone. When is it enough? You know? Maybe think of Enoch, right? Enoch, he was the one doing everything with the Watcher angels. So he was living at the times of the giants, the Nephilim, when everything was crazy. And so he's seeing it all, and he's living for hundreds and hundreds of years. And this stuff went on for a long time as well. All this stuff with the giants and everything. He's living in total, complete and utter chaos or whatever. He's the one going back and forth between heaven and earth casually. So low-key, maybe God didn't even take it. Maybe he just literally just went back and just didn't come back. He went there and didn't come back. He's gone to, he was the one that God entrusted. Like, he did so much. He was the one who sentenced all the fallen angels. He was the only one that God could actually trust at the time, to actually do what needed to be done. So, of course God would take him. Elijah was there fighting Jezebel, having to deal with the king Ahab, who's supposed to be the king of Israel. Who's only gone and married a flipping Phoenician princess on a business ting, on a trade deal situation. She's come in wreaking havoc. He's all switching over to her gods. So he's now having to fight even against his own king who has swung over. Elijah's all going up to the Lord talking about, Lord, can you just let me die? And God's like, take a nap, here's some food. You know what I mean? And then it took the angels, 21 days to get to him after he prayed, because the angel was like, there's this huge principality I had to fight to get here. Like, you're dealing in the big leagues, bro. He was dealing in the big leagues. And these are the people, like, in the Bible. If they weren't there, guys, we wouldn't be where we are. So we wouldn't even, I don't know what would be, I don't know what would be of today. I don't know what would be of today if those people didn't do what they do. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, if I was God, of course I would take the good people. Of course I would. I've seen other good people who, and there's one really lovely lady I used to know from our church. And she passed away young as well. And again, I was like, you know what, sis, good for you. Like, good for you, because you know what? You were such a lovely person in the midst of so many different things. Also not very much treated like how other people were treated. She wasn't one of the people in the church, one of the women in the church at the forefront of anything or doing anything that probably people were paying loads of attention to. But she was just a lovely, sweet, reliable, woman. And she passed early, and that made me sad as well. But I was just like, you know what, even another lady I knew from a different church who died earlier this year. And she was also a lovely one. I used to know her because of the youth stuff at one of the churches, and me and her, we just always gelled, didn't we? Always used to have a tea together in the morning before service. And she was always battling, herself, within herself. And I don't know if she ever got the help she needed on this disappointing place. And so, you know what? I feel like she's, as much as it pains me, she's probably finally getting the rest that she deserves and she needed. And that's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, we gotta be realistic, guys. Maybe we should all become more better people ourselves, rather than being sad that the good people died early. Because I'm like, it's like how you guys know what I'm going to say next, some of you. My pet peeve phrase. We need more people like this in the world. We need more people like this. And it's like, nah, bro. I'll never forget something that I heard another woman who I think is just awesome say. So over lockdown, my whole corner of the worship internet I was on was Israel Houghton and Adrian Bylon, Feels at Home. I still listen to it now. It was so good because they just decided they were going to bring all of New Breed to the house. They were going to go in lockdown, and they had their families there, and they were reworking old worship songs, doing new worship songs, doing songs that from different generations. It was very beautiful, and it was just awesome. And her mum, again, she, when they were growing up, Adrian, obviously she was in TLC, then she was the Cheetah Girls. She had said to her, she was one who would make her daughters, put on their armor of God every morning. When they made the when Adrian had the opportunity to go into the entertainment industry, the whole church was like, against it. They were at Assemblies of God, one of the Assemblies of God churches, which we now know. Some of us also went to Assemblies of God in the States. We now know, like, the founder, originator, whatever, is also a freaking, PDF file, as we call it on the internet these days. Can't make this stuff up. Anyway, the church was not in favor of her letting Adrian go into the industry, and she was just like, she just had a feeling on the inside that God was saying she should allow it to happen. And I was just like, and that's on a godly mother with discernment. Like, you might not get it, but I know, because I know where I'm at with the Lord, and it might not make sense to you, right? I'm not out of my mind. God's just not in yours. You're just not in God's mind. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And lo and behold, and that story hits me so hard, because I'm like, between Adrian and Israel, they were so influential in my childhood, because I loved the Cheetah Girls. I loved her. I loved Adrian in that, and we used to listen to a lot of Israel Houghton growing up as well. So when they got married, I was like, I feel like this is a gift for me. Like, I felt like my two worlds collided. And then they're all singing worship songs because he wasn't going to sing anymore, and she brought it out of him, and she didn't want to sing because she doesn't feel like she's good enough, which is absolutely freaking insane, which is actually insanely good at singing. And so I was like, my two worlds have collided. It was literally the best thing ever. But why am I mentioning this? Because when Adrian said to her Mum, I hope to be half the woman you were one day. And she said, you're supposed to be better. I was like, hell yeah. Now we're talking. These are the people in the world I respect, by the way. These kinds of people, and it was nice for her, because imagine her being able to sit there now back in life when things were tough, and she did what she needed to do for the sake of her daughters and whatnot and what have you. And now they just get to all have all these dinners together, and they're singing worship songs, and it's all very wholesome and lovely, And like I said, but the decisions she made along the way are the decisions other people would have struggled to make, And this is what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of the things that people have or other people do or whatever, we're very needy in the world, like I've said. And also we're not really prepared to do what others are prepared to do. Like I said, the way my grandma was going around just taking it on the chin, being betrayed, finding out via letters that came from her door that her own friend betrayed her. Same friend, by the way, who I think only is still alive or only just died. She's still alive? I don't know. And I obviously don't wish death on her, again, because of the example of my grandma, who always made everybody say, no, guys, we're not going to be mad. Our family stayed in contact, and actually in contact with her family till now. Pretty close, because, my grandma was a forgiving woman. Again, other people wouldn't have that in them to be able to forgive to that degree. Other people would find a reason to justify their actions or their revenge or whatever. And that's what she decided to do. And that's why she's such an incredible example. But like I said, not a lot of people are willing to do that. Not a lot of people were willing to go like she did and do whatever job it took so that she could pay for her kids' own education with her own money. And then her kids, even half of them, are not even living in the country anymore. It's just like, or even like I said, like with the Michael Jackson thing, like a lot of people were turning their blind eye to the stuff that was happening in the industry. A lot of people have. He did something controversial, right? And then, what does the media do? Oh, this guy, he's a weirdo. Why is he hanging around with kids? Why are they, apparently the kids are sleeping in my hood. So of course, when it's him, all the information is out there. But you see, when it's other people, it's hard to find the evidence of anything for some reason. But when it's the good people who are doing well, that's what I've learned about the world, you guys. In the last 7 months especially, the world favors evil people. The jury of the sheeple favors evil people. And people have a threshold. So whether it's that you end up getting taken out because it's just too much, it's too much to handle, and you end up dying that way, whether it's the Lord takes you, whatever, it's like, mate, because she also lived through the Civil War. I'm talking about grandma again. She also used to live in the days where, all the money she made automatically went into my grandfather's bank account. She's seen a lot, so it's kind of selfish of me especially when I'm going to see her forever in heaven. That's why I feel like if we all just focus on getting to heaven, then these things won't be that big of a deal. It just means it's going to be a little bit longer till I get to see her again than what I would have liked. And it is sad that I didn't get to invite her to my graduation. And I did cry like every day for I don't know how many months. I'd leave the house, I'd immediately cry all the way to university and sit there with my mouse on the withdraw button because I was like, there's no point in doing this degree now. But I did anyway because I thought she would want. That's what she would. I would do it like in her honor, if you know what I mean. And so that's one of the reasons I can never truly regret doing my degree. For that alone. Wow, if I didn't have that as a reason, I would be really, really annoyed at myself for deciding to get a degree. But anyway, you guys get the gist. I just feel like everybody always wants the good people, the people doing stuff, the rich folks, because you like to see somebody doing things either you're not prepared to do or that you can benefit from yourself. Because just become the good person. Just become the good person yourself. How about that? How about that as an idea? You know? So anyway, I was going to talk about Mr. Beast for a second, but I won't do that right now because it's one of the things I wanted to talk about when I record properly inside anyway. So, but again, another one where it's like, you know, somebody who's doing a lot of good for a lot of people who made a lot of decisions other people wouldn't agree with. And, you know, his whole thing started out, how did he get rich? Actually, I will mention it now. How did he get rich? Simple biblical concept. When you give, you shall be blessed. He starts out his channel, started at 12. What does he do? He's going out and giving money to people. That's always been what he's done. He's always gone out and given. And he would get all his money back, and he would put all the money back into his content and give money. So yes, that is a biblical principle. So he's actually broken the matrix in a way, because both sides of the kingdom are going to be happy, because the devil's going to be happy because God's not getting the glory, but God still gets the glory in my opinion, because, you know, some people prayed to be in the videos, some people prayed for this. But then also, why wouldn't God let Mr. Beast get rich? Of course he would, because the reason why God gives to those who are generous already is because he knows that that money is going to be actually given to people in need. Other people, you're praying to God with your own selfish reasons. Oh God, please, I would just like to get this job and then I can get this. Because you're thinking about how you're going to buy yourself a Lamborghini if you got rich. Now the first thing you buy yourself if you got $1 million is a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? And give like a little bit of pocket change to charity. Or not even bother to actually put, you know, get your hands dirty. So that's another thing I respect about Mr. Beast, is he doesn't put anybody through anything he's actually not willing to put himself through. Because all the challenges you'll see, even in like Beast games and stuff that the people do, he did them himself. And they all got buried underground in coffins in one of the challenges in the last Beast games. He got buried in a coffin, I think, for 7 days himself. Like, he's not even putting people through things he can't do. So you can't even be that mad at it, because he's not just sitting somewhere like the freaking weirdos, like in the Hunger Games or Squid Games, you know, the rich folks that sit and eat the gluttonous selves, the gluttonous drunken selves, watching everybody attacking each other. No. You know, even the people that just show up, they don't get in. Everybody gets money. Everybody leaves with, I think, at least 1,000 or 2,000 just for showing up. That's something. So no wonder he's rich. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't understand how this world works. Anyways, I'm going to go. As the Kiddlywinks are playing football. I don't want to get in their way while they're enjoying their Easter break. So I will skedaddle. But yeah, this is why I think, anyways, guys. If I was God, I'd be like, look, you've done a lot and you're going through a lot, and these people are just blood-sucking leeches in this world. Let's just take you out. Or just like, you know, you've done your work. And I honestly think that's such an honor. If God actually says at like a younger age, at that point, you're ready to go. Like, if you actually, it's like you've actually done your mission. Because I feel like some people might even just be living long for the simple fact that God is trying to give you another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance. And imagine that you've spent imagine getting to Judgment Day and God tells you, yeah, so I've been trying to get this message through to you for the last 30 years, and I've been giving you 30 years worth of a chance. How embarrassing is that? That's why I'm like, guys, repent today. Get right with the Lord today. Like, humble yourself today. Do what you need to do. Do it today. Not tomorrow. Today. Now. You know, become the good person, the good people. If we all just decided to become the people we wished existed, then the people we wished existed would exist. Anyways, if life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. I'll see you in my next one.